Well, what do you say we get back to that Zoom line and we'll welcome a guy in that should have been on here 51 other times. But the good news is better late than never. And let's welcome in Dave Bailey, 51-time winner in Thunderstock. He did it again on Friday night with the 49 car. And he joins us now on the Zoom line. What's going on, David? How are you?
No, just hanging out here working on the race car and just glad to be on with you.
That's something, Dave, you probably do every night in that shop and working on that 49 car. You can see the trophies in the background there, bud. They don't come from pulling the car out on Friday morning and nut and bolting the thing and heading back to the track, right?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work. We raced again last night at Merrittville and just trying to get her back together from rough Friday nights at Ohsweken and just getting ready to go again for this Friday.
Man, that track on Friday night, and this will be the last time I allude to it, but there was some heavy-duty bumps and ruts down in 3-4, also down in 1-2. Was 3-4 for you guys worse than 1-2, or were they about the same?
They're kind of the same, just the sprint cars, like your previous guest there, Darren, he just kind of ran right through them, and those cars are kind of lighter on the front end, so they just kind of skip over them. But obviously, when it goes bad with a sprint car, it goes extra bad. For us, we kind of just, you get in the middle of them, and then you just kind of follow wherever they want you to go. You don't really have a choice, and just kind of trying to get around them or under them was the way to be. But I'm sure Friday night's not something that they were proud of, but next week I'm sure that they'll have it back in tip-top shape and we'll be ready to go again.
Well, and that's the thing, right? When you're at a dirt track, you're racing on it or you're there viewing it, you don't know lap to lap that a rut can develop when you got all this horsepower, you got a lot of weight and a small tire. Ruts happen. They just pop up. And, they're not out there grooming the track in between every race. You guys got to deal with it, and you play the cards that you're dealt. Now you don't run in that spot. So, Dave, you got to be good at searching a line out that your car is going to be good, and not everybody is going to be running in the same place on that track, right?
Yeah, it's not like they set out to have all those ruts at the racetrack. Like, that wasn't their intention. Just it happens, and weather was bad, and whatever else happened. But yeah, it's different. Mini stock, street stock, sprint car, crate, whatever. They all find different places that they like to run, and whether it was smooth or it wasn't smooth, you still need to find a good place to run. You got to watch the racetrack and aim for the darkest brown spots you can find.
And those dark brown spots, are they ones that have got water in them? Is that what you're looking for? You hear, I hear Adam and Greg allude to, they're sniffing out moisture in the track. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But when the racetrack is rough, like it was on Friday, the part that's rough is the part that has the moisture and it has the grip. So if you can make your stuff work through that, then like, it's obviously it has way more grip in it. That's why it's soft. But it's a trade-off whether you want to bounce through it or bounce around or find a place that's smoother to run.
Well, I've watched you for countless Friday nights on G-Force, and I urge everyone, if you can't make it to the Big O on a Friday night and you want to check out the action, absolutely simple to do. No games, no you got to pay for this or do this. All you do is go to YouTube, go to G-Force TV, and presto, there it is, right in front of you. Click on it, and it's all in HD. It's absolutely perfect coverage. It's always better to be at the racetrack and see everything for your own eyes. But if you can't, it's absolutely incredible to watch. And Dave, I've been watching you a ton. You and Beagle, the two of you guys stand out over the field. You're consistent. The car is the same. You've had that car for how long? Or is it just painted that way and it's a newer car?
No, this is the only car I've ever had since I moved up from, well, when I ran mini stocks, I ran someone else's car, a metric car. I only had a mini stock, and then I would run his metric car on Fridays at Ohsweken. And then when I got my own Thunder car, this is the only one I've ever had. So we've had this thing since 2014, and It was built in 1996 originally, so it's not a new piece. It's nothing fancy. It works.
And it is a Camaro, correct? It's not just a Camaro body. It is a Camaro underneath that skin.
Yeah, they're Camaro clips, and then kind of from wherever, like they have all the suspension geometry of a Camaro, but it's just a clip, and then roof, quarters, fender tops, hood, that kind of thing is all still Camaro, and then it's tubing in the middle.
So when you go and you go to different tracks, you're going to run in different places probably, or do you? Do you attack each track the same way?
Contrary to popular belief, I change gearing, and that's it. We take the four tires that I ran in the feature on Friday night at Ohsweken, the same four tires I would run at Maryville. This I try and learn things myself rather than trying to confuse myself changing the race car. Just keep going with the same thing. We might change air pressure here and there, but pretty much that's it.
Well, and then you're going to learn a ton too, right? So you will know the difference. If you go harder in and a little lighter off, the car's going to respond in a different way. How long does a set of tires last the Thunderstock?
Actually, on Friday night, I ran a set of tires that I actually did buy this year. But until then, I've been running tires that were from a year ago. So it's as long as you don't run into things and pop your tires, they last a long time.
Oh, that's cool, and that's all part of the racing budget, right? You need to establish that at the beginning of the year, and you got to set. Here's the line in the dirt, so to speak. Don't go over it, and use it to your advantage. But and hopefully you got some winnings to go with it, so that it propels you. What do you got coming up the rest of the year? The Nationals is a big weekend. Championship weekend is coming up. You talk about going to Merrittville too. What do you got on the horizon?
Yeah, so far we got 2 points nights left at Ohsweken. We got 2 points nights left at Merrittville, and then the 2 end of the year nights at Merrittville. The 2 nights of the Nationals at Ohsweken, duel on the dirt race at Buxton, and at least the duel on the dirt race at Brighton, and maybe the Friday night there also. So 11 races, hopefully, if we don't get any rain left.
Yeah, that's a ton of racing left to do. Apple Fest night at Brighton is always one that I've looked at that I haven't gone to yet. Is that, you've probably been to Apple Fest. What's it like going to? Is it a good one to go attend?
Oh yeah, going to the race as a spectator is awesome. Just driving there on a Friday night through Toronto traffic's not the greatest for us. So the last few years we've skipped the Friday night and just gone up for the Saturday because it's an easier drive and I don't have to pull my kid out of school. But who knows? We'll see how the next few weeks go and whether or not we'll go up. We'll be there on the Saturday for sure, and maybe on the Friday.
Well, it was cool seeing you in Victory Lane. The family was with you. Really cool to see. Dave Bailey is with us, driver of the 49. He's got 51 wins. How about that for some statistics for you? 51 wins in that 49 car. And tonight, he is our Stewart's Equipment hot seat interview. I forgot to add that at the beginning of the interview. But the Queenston on the side of that race car, you've had Queenston for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, that was a deal. It was actually something that just was presented to me through Don Knopper. He was the GM at the time at Queenston, and Doug Leonard, who is now the race director for the World of Outlaws, was a previous salesman at Queenston. And they were looking at sponsoring a car, and they're like, well, if we want to sponsor a car, we're going to sponsor one that runs 3 nights a week. So unfortunately now Humberstone doesn't run on Sundays, but back then we used to run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So bang for their buck, that was a pretty good deal for them, and we're proud to have them on board for, well, it's got to be 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, that's cool. When you can get a sponsor and retain them, that's saying a lot about you as a race team and the people that you've got assembled. Crew chief, is it like like the sprint cars? Do you have a crew chief, or are you the crew chief as well as the driver?
Well, I guess I make the final decision, but I like to call my son the crew chief because he's kind of the voice of reason, and like, well, do you think we should do this, or do you think we should do that, or how do you feel if I change this? And I bounce ideas off him.
Well, and you should, right? You've got to be able to do that because maybe the answer isn't always inside the helmet. Maybe it's coming from someone that knows you and take the emotion out of it, and they're going to give you the right direction to maybe head on a night when you're going to go out and compete. It's a tough, tough division. At Ohsweken, the Thunderstocks are a tough class.
Yeah, it's a tough class anywhere. So me and Beal have won all the races this year, but it's not as we've done it, so it's an accomplishment. But we lost 4 cars that were in the top 10 in points last year. So if those 4 cars were still around, I'm sure that it would be a different story. But nonetheless, just a great accomplishment for me and Beal to have swept the year so far. There's guys, Trevor, Ryan, Denning, Kozenga, there's a bunch of guys, Zach Bleach, just a bunch of guys that are knocking on the door. Just so far, only one of us has had bad luck every night, so we've kept that streak alive.
Well, and they're right on the edge too. If the races were 5 laps less, you may have different faces in victory lane. It does take you guys some time to work your way through the field to get up there to the front in order to capture that checkered flag. It's an accomplishment each and every Friday night. You look at Beagle's car, and it's like a Monte Carlo looking car. We look at yours, and it's the Camaro. Do you ever see the day where you're going to say, Dave, that's it for the 49 car. I'm going to sell this car, go and build a brand new one?
I don't see that day coming for me. I'm too old, done this for too long, and this thing's been too good to me, so there's really no need. Beagle's car, it's not a metric car. It's a 3rd-gen Camaro, so it's like a 82, 83, whatever year those are, with a torque arm. So it's got a better rear suspension than what we run, but it doesn't have the great of a front suspension. And he's been the only one that can make that car work, so kudos to him, and he's been our nemesis for 3 years now, I guess. He's kind of had our number. We got more wins than him this year, but he's still there. He's been way more consistent than we have up until, unfortunately, last Friday. But he's been the guy to beat around here recently.
Well, yet another guy that I have not got on this program, and that must change. And we've genuinely appreciated the time. You've got Queenston on there. Who else you got as sponsors, Dave, helping you out?
Mark Zuba at Jibs Action Sports. He's been with us for since the mini stock days, so probably 10 or 11 years now, and we really appreciate him. And then just the family help from all the support. My son's out here with me all the time, and he's the one that day to day, like, we change transmissions between the 2 racetracks back and forth, and doing tires, and we spent this morning doing body work. So really appreciate him. And then my dad, my cousin, Bessie, Olivia, my mom, just everybody who supports us, my cousin Joey, just really appreciate all the help we get.
Well, and rightfully so, man. You do a good job behind the wheel, and you include everybody. That's paramount. Anytime soon are we going to see your son behind the wheel? Is he going to eventually, one day, you're going to hang it up and he's going to take over?
Well, I don't know what you can see behind me, but there's a mini stock here, and we've had it since we built it during COVID, and he's 14 now. It's sitting here. It needs a motor, but if it needs a motor, that means we can't wreck it. And I don't know. I don't think he needs to be rushed into it. He's helping me out, so he's learning lots. And he's never raced a go-kart or anything like that, and he's not really bugging. But when he's ready, that thing will be sitting here ready for him.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So something to look forward to down the road. And you can never learn enough in this sport, right? You're always learning. Even you, I'll bet, have learned something on Friday night. You learned something that you would have never thought possible, but here it is.
Yeah, if you're not learning, you're just wasting your time. Like, I don't know, if there's people that want to go out there and just run around in circles, and that's fine. But we're out there trying to learn every time we go out, and there's always people that are trying to get better and knock us off. Like, Beagle's done that successfully, and Kyle Pelrine, even now at Maryville, he's beat us for 3 weeks in a row now, and you got to go out there and just keep learning. Just if you're not learning, then you're just going to fall behind.
Yeah, and case in point, 51 wins on this guy right here, Dave Bailey. Dave, thanks so much for the time tonight on Race Time. Keep it going, man. We'll get you back on here and tell Beagle he's coming up next.
I don't. Yeah, you got to get that guy on there. He's last year's champion at Ohsweken, and he's beating us right now in points. So he'd be a pretty good guest for you guys to have.
Absolutely, and well deserved. David, thank you so much for the time. Go after it, man. Keep it going.
Thank you.
You bet. Dave Bailey right there. Got to thank Terry Watt. I've texted Terry on Friday night. I said, will you do me a favor and go over and ask Dave Bailey if I can get his number? I need to get him on the show. Far too many days have gone by that we haven't had Dave Bailey on the show. Right back into his mini stock days. He was nailing it, and he was this kind of champion back there too. And to see the success he continues to have. He is a driven individual. Watch for him in that Buster Baker 49. Cool looking car. And he definitely knows his way around. Even the bumpy track like Friday night added a different twist.